Troubleshooting in reverse, moving with the handler. A common issue with this trick is that the dog moves his hindquarters away from the handler and fails to maintain heel position. The following are a couple of strategies to counteract this action and build muscle memory for the correct movement. First, consider your reward placement. If your dog is in left heel and you reward across your body from your right hand, the dog's hindquarters are going to turn out. Compare this with taking the reward up to your chest and down straight to the dog with your left hand. Another option is to throw the reward behind and to the left of the dog. This will motivate him to keep his hindquarters tucked in to enable speedy movement to get the reward. Throwing the treat behind her and to her left encourages her to be looking out, which causes her hindquarters to be remaining close in rather than swinging out. Another strategy is using the pocket hand. Your thumb and pointer finger form a circle and the other three fingers point down. The space between those fingers and your leg is the pocket. Start static and you can hold a treat between your finger and thumb. You can also angle her head to her left, which will keep her hindquarters to her right. Once the dog understands the pocket, you can do it without food in your fingers, but remember to deliver the reward straight down to her. When the dog understands this while stationary, you can introduce movement, but start with a single step and build distance gradually. When starting movement, you can also go back to having food between your finger and thumb, but just work on single steps at a time. To preempt the dog rushing backwards, vary the directions in which you move. So we move back and then forward. Progressively increase the complexity or variability of your movements and remove the food lure. This just helps the dog to understand that he maintains heel position regardless of where you move. Lateral movement in particular helps the dog understand moving his hindquarters towards you rather than swinging them out away from you. Again, start with one step at a time. Notice that the reward is delivered to her left so that encourages the hindquarters to move to the right. You can also move on the diagonal, again moving away from her so that she learns to keep her hindquarters tucked in. Another strategy is to use a low barrier to help the dog remain straight and again build that muscle memory. Here we're using a combination of the low barrier and the pocket hand and mixing it up whether you're moving forwards or backwards and delivering from the left hand. Build the number of backward steps slowly, and you can actually move quite slowly. It's better not to rush. You can then apply the same process using a lower barrier. Another option is to use a drop off an edge, which exaggerates the consequence if the dog swings his hindquarters out. The edge of a patio or path or a square gutter edge are good options. We had to make do with a sloping gutter edge. Basically, you're going through those same steps, But if the dog swings his hindquarters out and steps off the edge, that impact will be more obvious to him. Again, mix it up, moving forwards or backwards, and build distance gradually.